Okay, so let's just take a little drive. This is Woodridge Drive in Woodridge Estates, and you could see it is really wooded. Lots of evergreens, there's some brush. There's been a lot of fire protection work and clearing work. Like, look at how beautiful this is maintenanced. If you're not familiar with like a fire-wise community, being able to see that we can actually see the house through the trees right there, that you can see the forest floor, there's not a bunch of brush, there's lots of clearance and space between the trees. This is what you want your neighborhood to look like if you live in the trees. You want lots of clearing. Like, see that home right there? You could see that there's tons of clearing around the actual house. The trees aren't overhanging the house, but you still get the beauty and the fresh air of being in the conifers. I'm really impressed with the improvements that have happened in this neighborhood for fire clearance. This neighborhood, if you were to live on the right side of the street, it backs up to privately owned timberland. So you have a lot of privacy. It backs up to like 1,200 acres of privately held timberland, and then it goes out into a couple thousand acres of PG&E land that you can use for public. They allow it for public recreation, so you can use it for any non-motorized recreation. So you can mountain bike, you can hike, you can horseback ride, you can even have e-bikes out there. So this is Woodridge Estates. We're headed out to, what is this street called that we're headed out to? It's the road that goes to Manton. A lot of you probably never even heard of Manton. I doubt it. I doubt most of you have ever even heard of Manton. So Wilson Hill Road is what Woodridge comes off. So behind me is towards the lake. In front of me is to go out more towards down Woodridge Road. This is Wilson Hill Road, which if I would turn right, I would go to Manton, but I'm turning left. This will take me back to Shingletown, and there's actually another street that's part of the Woodridge neighborhood that has all the lake access and benefits, just coming up right here on the left. There's part of the water treatment in this neighborhood is serviced by a private water treatment. They have a private well and a water treatment plant. So we're turning onto Lake Ridge Drive. Here we are on Lake Ridge. And you can see it is just like, it feels like a Tahoe. It's just the mountain feel without the mountain prices. This house right here is currently for sale. I just showed it. It is stunning inside. It's a 4-2, about 2,300 square feet. Not my listing, so I can't just take you in there right now. But this is what the neighborhood looks like. And all of these houses are on 2 to 3 acres. The ones that are on the lake are on more like 8 acres. But I just wanted you guys to have an idea of what the actual neighborhood looked like. There's lots of times you see people out here hiking and recreating. And here we are. We're at the end of Lake Ridge Drive. This house sold, I think, a couple years ago. It's actually on the lake too. But yeah, short little cul-de-sac street. Who doesn't love a good cul-de-sac? We'll drive out and show you guys the other side of the street. You know, and a lot of these, they're just, you know, beautiful custom homes. So many of them have, you know, the soaring ceilings and the tongue and groove wood. Some of them are actually like log cabin construction. Like this one that's coming up on the left is actually a log cabin construction. Like I said, that one is for sale. This is the There's only 2 for sale right now in this neighborhood. And I know of one other one that's off market that are clients of mine that have just said, if you find somebody that wants, really wants what we have, we would be interested in selling, but we don't want to keep our house on the market. So it's good to have the inside scoop. Okay, so here we are at Woodridge Estates. This is the private lake here for the neighborhood. It is so stunning. There are about 14 homes that actually are waterfront. Like you can see, there's a really beautiful chalet over there. So there's about 14 homes on the private lake. And then just being a resident of the neighborhood, you have access to this lakeshore area. It's just like a little private park. There's a couple picnic tables. There's like a walking trail. There's another picnic table up at the top there. But yeah, here we are, Woodridge Lake at the lakeshore for the residents. Okay, we're just going to continue on some of our Shingletown adventures. This is Alpine Meadows. Over here is just a park and a meadow. That is the medical facility right there. The library backs up to it. This is just like some public use land right here, and there's houses up off to the side. But I'd say this is kind of one of the cutest little community areas in town. The farmers market is over here in the park. The Sawdust Festival's over here. Coming up on the left-hand side shortly is the totem pole. There's a lot of Native American history and culture here in the Shingletown area. So here is our giant totem pole. There it is. That really doesn't do it justice, but it is so beautiful and so well preserved right there. And so this is all Meadow Park. And then actually I'll back up so you could see we have a really nice medical facility right here to the right. This is kind of just like an urgent care clinic. A lot of people, this is their general medical provider. Their doctor will be right here at the clinic. Shingletown Medical Center. So here is just for basic care, urgent care. But if you got anything major going on, you are going down the hill about 30 minutes to Reading for the 2 hospitals, Mercy Medical Center and Shasta Regional. So we'll come back out. There's also a lot of logging history here in Shingletown. Maybe one day I'll make a historical video about Shingletown. But over here to the left in this little yard, it's like a museum, like a logging museum. So much of Shingletown's culture comes from logging. This was a booming logging area. Actually, got its name for shingles because there was a lot of kind of the scraps and things that were left behind. People came in and started making the cedar shake shingles. And that actually came from Shingletown. So we're going to turn out onto the highway. We'll give you guys a little bit more Shingletown tour. So we'll pull out here on the highway. There's a little business center here on the left. On the right is the post office and the gas station. On the left, there's dog grooming. This is the main strip of Shingletown, and if you blink, you'll miss it. Over on the right-hand side there, that's the pizza parlor, and there's a little ice cream shop. The pizza parlor is actually pretty rad in the summer. They have a really big outdoor beer garden, and they have live music. And so it's actually a really fun place to be in the summertime. This is Reed's Market. This is literally a grocery store and an Ace Hardware had a baby, and they have a gas station. It's like a one-stop shop, whether you need some penny nails or a plunger, or you need some onions and some vegetables for dinner, they got it. They got it right here. Okay. So we'll head back out onto the highway. I'm going to turn in here so you could see it. This is the best little spot to be on an evening in Shingletown, unless you're at home enjoying your own things. This is Pioneer Pizza and the Mountain Mercantile. This is also, like, they've called it the Man Cave. There's a little salon in here. But the pizza parlor is usually pretty hopping, especially in the summer. It's a cute little pizza parlor and a bar. They have a fantastic outdoor area, beer garden. And so they have live music every weekend. And it is like a really fun place to be on an evening if you're up here in Shingletown. So whether you're coming to go to Lassen or you're thinking about moving, Pioneer Pizza is the place to be. And then right next door, this is the Shingletown store. Feels like just a repeat of Reed's Market, kind of, because there's gas here, but you can get gas filled, your propane. This is more like a mini mart. We'll say it's like a mini mart. And then this is the post office right next door. So this is where you have to come. I must say they have the worst hours for people that work. I try not to get anything delivered to my house that will have to end up at the post office because I feel like I can never pick it up. So this is all the north side of Highway 44 that we're going to see right now. There's the Shingletown flagpole, the bus stop. And then, you know, what is any rural town without a Dollar General? That's our Dollar General. It opened probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Then we're going to come out here. I want you guys to see. So this is like the four corners of Shingletown. To the left is the Shingletown Library, and that's Meadow Park. So this is the Shingletown Library. This is where there's so many just like community events in this little Meadow Park here. There's the farmers market. There's art festivals. There's the Sawdust Festival. There's just such like a rich heritage here of logging. That's actually where the name Shingletown came from, that people came through and were picking up kind of the scraps left by the loggers of the cedar rounds and ends, and they started making cedar shake shingles, and so that's where Shingletown came from. Here is our medical clinic. This is the Shingletown Medical Center. This is kind of like an urgent care or your general doctor, your just regular MD. You're feeling under the weather, you're going to come down here. If you have anything crazy going on or you need any like emergency care, you'll have to be going down to Reading, which is about 30 minutes. So this little street right here is called Alpine Meadow, and it just circles this like public use area, this beautiful meadow, which, like I said, has such fun, like it's like the community hub. There's like a chili cook-off there. If we kept going east up the highway, it's where the volunteer fire station is, and there's a couple churches. Maybe I'll take you guys up there in another tour, but just wanted to give you an idea of the heart of Shingletown here. We'll come out here and turn left, which will take us back west, and then I'll show you the south side of the highway. We saw the north side of the highway, so now we'll see the south side of the highway. And I think the population here in Shingletown is about 3,000. A lot of people that live here are retirees or people who have a second home. There's a lot of second homes up here because it's just actually so affordable. And then there is a large portion of people like me who choose to live up in Shingletown. It's like a 25-minute drive and commute into town, into Reading for work. So there are quite a few people that do that. But I'd say, oh yeah, see this says population, yeah, 34, oh no, elevation 34.8. Population, this said 1,000, so maybe I'm thinking more of the surrounding areas is about 3,000, but it's just like a super small little area. So here's the south side, that's the Alpine Business building. There's some offices right here, a dog groomer right here, DMV services. Then right here on the left, this is like the historical, no, this is the thrift shop, sorry. There's the thrift store right here. And then coming up next is another thrift store and like the Historical Society, the Shingletown Museum. Maybe we'll go in there one day and do some coverage of historical Shingletown for you. But yeah, this is Shingletown. We're going to head out. Let's see if you guys can peep through the trees, if you could see a little bit of Woodridge Lake through the trees right there. That's probably one of my favorite views.